Big news! I mean, there's nothing else to say. This is
big news.
Extra,
My name is Ed.
Read all about it.
With me here is Steve.
Hey.
And Alex.
Boop boop.
Okay, so let's just say it. As a part of the 20th anniversary celebrations, it has been announced that a Hollywood live-action project is in the works for One Piece, being overseen by Tomorrow Studios under the supervision of Marty Adelstein, who is one of the executive producers of Prison Break. Keep an eye on the One Piece podcast website for comments from Oda shortly, hopefully. But this news is just broke. It's 9:30 Central Time on a Thursday night, and it's the 20th anniversary of One Piece, and we're getting a live-action show. Man, it's been like 5 minutes already, the reaction. Some people just like, no.
Yeah.
And I understand it. Like, what do you guys think?
I'm getting texts from people, too, talking to me about it.
Oh, nice. I haven't gotten those yet, but I'm pretty... And you know what? I probably won't. No, nobody up here likes One Piece, so that's fine. I did get my improv coach into it, but that's besides the point. The point being, there's going to be a live-action series for One Piece. And
it's being very optimistic about this.
Yeah, well, one thing I'm optimistic about is it's not a...
You have to be optimistic, okay? You have to be optimistic. What else are you going to be? Just a piece of shit the entire time? You might as well just be optimistic about this whole situation, because... What are you gonna do? Just mope about it while still enjoying regular good old One Piece?
But Alex,
did people go to the theater and watch Dragon Ball Evolution and
Well, Ed, no one went to the theater to watch Dragon Ball Evolution, so that answers that question right there. But Alex,
Steve,
this is gonna ruin my childhood. I mean, my adulthood.
Do you know what ruins my adulthood? Having to pay insurance and
all right, you're gonna lose your reel for this big One Piece announcement, the big news.
I news.
Well, I want to say at the start, I'm optimistic that they're not trying to cram this all into a movie.
No, yeah, thinking on it, One Piece really can't work as a single movie. That would be ridiculous.
It'd be bad.
There's 20 years of content there. I mean, how long could a live action series run for? You know?
I don't know. That's a good question. Why don't we ask? I thought of a really good example and I forgot.
Want to ask Oda? We could ask Oda.
I was gonna say Cheers, but
it's Simpsons, animated, but
yeah.
And is this for like a Western audience too? Like, is this like?
I think it's for like an everybody audience, but it seems like it's being developed over here.
So they call it Hollywood several times.
Hollywood. There's only one Hollywood, and you're in it, Steve.
Yeah, and I need to make sure I run out into the streets tonight and be like, everyone, One Piece is coming to Hollywood. And
seriously, look this company up and try and get a job there.
And then everyone's just gonna blame me.
What if it's good?
Then everyone should thank me. I'm sorry, folks. This is like the first time the three of us have recorded together in quite a while, so I think we're getting our shit in here.
Yeah.
But now my question is this gonna kind of... This has to be they're gonna adapt the series, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna be like a loose adaptation. They're definitely gonna rewrite a ton of things.
Sure. I'm sure they will. But I'm also like... Yeah, there'll be some rewrites. I think that, I mean, you can't literally put every single thing. That'd be ridiculous. That would be such like a...
Then it would be just like the monster anime from, Urasawa's Monster. It would just be that.
I honestly do East Blue.
Just East Blue?
Yeah. I know you don't have Chopper and Frankie and Robin and Brooke, but East Blue, the anime told like pretty much most of East Blue within...
What the hell is Chopper going to look like in live action anyway? Like, you say that like it's a negative that he wouldn't be in a first season, but that could be some Uncanny Valley stuff.
The problem...
Maybe. CG is really good these days with like, I don't know, Game of Thrones has pretty damn good CG.
I guess.
See, I've always been... I've always been against a live action adaptation of One Piece because I already think One Piece, it's in its best possible form.
Can't be translated into something else. I think that this is going to be like its own monster, like like its own thing. I don't know. I think I would, in order to have like a better opinion about this, I would need more information.
Yeah.
Based on based on who exactly is going to be working on it. Like if it's executive produced by the Prison Break guy, then that's probably good. What else has he done? This guy Marty Adelstein.
That's a very good question. Let's look him up. Live on the air.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's and this is not necessarily the same boat at all, but there's that one movie director who's done adaptations for Ace Attorney, and I believe he also did the recent JoJo live action, if I'm not mistaken.
Takashi Miike?
I think so.
Yeah,
He was the executive producer on Teen Wolf.
Oh, what? That's a pretty popular show, right?
Yeah, from like the 2011 Teen Wolf TV show.
Last Man Standing.
True Calling.
That's the Last Man Standing, the Tim Allen, sitcom.
Is Tim Allen going to work on this series? I hope not.
He also produced a TV movie in 2003 called Vegas Dick.
Huh. I wonder if that's they're making a Snowpiercer series? Holy crap.
I don't know. He's made a bunch of successful shows. 90 episodes, 110 episodes.
These are all live reactions.
26 episodes.
But as I was saying,
what I want to know is who is going to be, who's going to be like the creative, behind it. Like,
that's
this guy's obviously an executive producer who's the creative behind it.
Yeah, that's where it really comes into play. The producer, we'll get this off the ground, but now like all the creative people involved, that's gonna make or break this.
Yeah.
But now I was saying before, like I watched the live action Ace Attorney adaptation, and I think that just comes down to director, but it didn't necessarily encapsulate like the heart of that series. It was a little too serious, but then again, I think that guy was a horror director, so
sure. Well, do you want something? I mean, like, you obviously want something that captures the heart of the series more than anything like that. But at the very least, you're always going to have the manga.
Yeah, the original stuff is always going to be there. It's not like Dragon Ball Evolution tarnished Dragon Ball.
It didn't. It did not ruin Dragon Ball. Actually, for a lot of people, I think it enhanced it. Like, look at what could have been.
It's like eating a nice meal next to a pile of shit.
Yeah. Also,
well, then again, Dragon Ball Evolution spawned the Battle of Gods movie because Toriyama was like, you know what? They made a piece of shit out of my creation. I can't let that be the last new thing that's ever come out.
He said that?
Oh, pretty much. One of his biggest inspirations to doing Battle of Gods was just that Dragon Ball Evolution was so bad. He was like, I need to make something better.
Wow.
Are you sure that's not like Toriyama hates GT hearsay?
No, like that was my loose adaptation of it, but Toriyama did say something along the lines of that. Not so much like I hate that movie. He wasn't like a YouTube comment, but he said like, that was, could have been something better. He said something like along the lines of that. I'm certain. Toriyama's done a lot of interviews over the last few years. But with this one, I think, this was only a matter of time before this was going to happen, One Piece is so huge in Japan.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's huge in Japan and has been forever. It's been huge there basically since it started. That was 20 years ago. It's like if you ask like a random like nerd around the United States and you ask them what Dragon Ball Z is, they'll be able to tell you something about Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
One Piece is not like that.
No.
It 100% is not. Like, not even close.
It's not even close to Naruto, really.
Yeah, not even like, oh yeah, my little cousin watches that. Like, that's what people would be saying about Naruto.
But is this going to serve as a new introduction?
Yes, that's what I think. Like, I think that if people see this and it gets buzz, like if it actually turns out to be good, that will lead people to read the source material, considering how far along we are.
What kind of distribution do you think this will get? Like, where do you think it'll be shown?
I don't know. Like, could be streaming, could be HBO. Streaming, I think, would be the best way to do it, really. Just
like the new Star Trek show?
I was thinking along the lines of, like, Netflix or Amazon. Because, thinking on it, that's really how people watch things these days.
Yeah.
Streaming.
Yeah, like
I think
well,
streaming is the way to go.
This is
Computers,
just
the way of the future.
this is computers. This is this is literally breaking news. It's breaking big news. We really have
Some big news right here.
Sorry, that's the alternate voice for Big News Morgans, who I think doesn't have an official voice on the podcast. I might
Nope,
add.
we're just having fun with it.
I've been listening. We have nothing really to go off of just these few lines, these few tidbits of news. We might not be seeing this for years.
There's 100% we're not going to be seeing this for years.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine?
100% this might not happen.
Yeah, there is a chance.
Yeah.
I just
think
worry.
You guys are being. Now you're in denial. Like, this is probably going to happen, guys. Like,
oh, well, I mean, if they're going to make this wasn't freaking an.
In some respects, the One Piece live action is similar to the Trump presidency.
Why?
Because
nobody wanted to believe that it could happen.
Oh, yes.
Ed.
And then it happened.
Like I said, this wasn't just a dinky little article that was posted on freaking Kotaku or something. They made a big announcement in Tokyo for this, so it's gonna happen.
It was first reported in Yahoo News Japan.
I think just my biggest concern. I think this is just me coming from a cartoonist, and I have my taste and style and design and all that, but because One Piece is so expressive, and it just Oda's style just lends itself to the series and its expressiveness and its just outrageousness, and I don't know if live action. Well, no, live action. It's not going to be able to encapsulate all of that, but I hope they give it a try. I mean, don't put Luffy in high school. That's all I'm saying.
Don't have there be high school. Just don't.
Yeah, no more schools. No more teachers,
no
more books.
Down with homework, up with miniskirts.
And I can't, hey, Ed and I are wrestling fans. If we judged everything off of the initial announcements, well, actually that's exactly what wrestling fans do, but I try not to do that.
Look, what we can do is we can remain hopeful as we continue to get information. Not to mention Oda commented on it.
We haven't got those comments yet. But...
No, but
Oda's comments has been released, and no, what are you doing, you monsters?
It's just a string of expletives.
I mean,
DD.
Oda's not Kojima here, Hideo Kojima. He doesn't have a huge boner for Hollywood. I'm sorry, I could have put that a little bit better, but that's just how I describe Hideo Kojima.
Did you say Oda doesn't?
Oda's a fan, but Oda wanted to be a manga artist. He didn't want to be a Hollywood director.
No, but it doesn't mean, Steve.
What?
Do you like movies?
I do enjoy movies.
Yes, then okay, Steve, I love movies and I love TV, but it doesn't mean I want to work in it. I don't think he ever expected any of this.
I don't think he did. I think Oda's a simple guy, and I think he just wanted to make a successful manga series.
I'm trying to be as positive as I possibly can about this.
It's like you said in the and Alex, maybe we want to transition to talking about this too, but in the one shot that was in Jump this week, we saw when he was talking about that he kind of wished that he had taken a pen name,
Yeah.
Protect his privacy more, but people in his generation didn't do that. Did you read the one shot?
I did. It was great. I liked it a lot, actually. It was cute. It was heartwarming.
Yeah,
and
I loved it so much.
And it gives a little peek as to, what it was like.
Well, I think that one shot was, well, of course it was timed with the 20th anniversary, but reading that, it keeps my hopes up. I remain positive with Oda because I think Oda's just the same guy he's always been. He's the same as that aspiring kid that wanted to break into this industry.
If you had a hit comic book series. Wouldn't you try to make make like a movie out of it?
Yeah, I as a creative, I'm not gonna lie. I think we've all had that thought.
Yeah,
And I mean,
It's
it's not like he needs the money, so he's doing this because I think he wants to see it.
yeah. Hell, I mean, that's the next great adventure, right? Live action.
the the final frontier.
I wonder
Space.
how they would. I wonder how they would cast it. I do. I don't want to speculate because I don't really enjoy speculation, but I'm
Well.
curious to see where they go with it.
No, that's why I want to have a new segment on the podcast called Castaway, where we talk about casting.
There's going to be accusations of whitewashing, but then again, there's no
Are there?
there's no specific race in One Piece, so I wouldn't get too bent out of shape about that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if there would be, but
I don't know. Like people, it's like I know people have been very hyped about the FMA movie coming out. It's like, oh, it's Japanese actors. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't necessarily lend to Full Metal Alchemist. But I understand your plight, and I don't want to knock you off that hill.
I don't know if Oda's involved in the casting process in anything resembling what he was involved with during the voice acting casting process. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure if the voice actors for the
Oda's in a unique position to demand some control here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is One Piece's 20th year. Oda basically calls the shots for his story, and I think what he wants. It's kind of cool, which is, and it's kind of funny when you think about Oda's involvement in Strong World, Film Z, and Film Gold. When you think about his involvement, it's almost like if he wants something to be good, he's going to be involved directly.
Yeah.
So I think we should also take into account if we ever find this out, Oda's involvement with this show. I can't imagine he wouldn't be executive producing this and having input.
I don't know. I don't know if he can effectively manage that with what he's already doing. He's a busy guy.
True.
And I think what I was just getting at earlier was just I have no clue where they're going to go with casting. But One Piece is so crazy and it is diverse in its characters that I really hope that the casting complements that.
Yeah, 100%.
And God, let Zoro be Asian. I think we all could agree on that.
Oh yeah, that would be smart.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Oda does think he's already given all the countries that he thinks the Straw Hats are from. Mm-hmm. Let's not talk about Usopp.
Oh, so Arnold Schwarzenegger's gonna be Brooke then.
Oh man,
no, it's gonna be that guy from Inglourious Bastards. He's Australian.
It's not gonna matter because he's gonna be a skeleton. They'll just get Ian Sinclair. It's fine.
Did you guys watch the One Piece Film Gold Blu-ray extra thing?
I have. Yes.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun with the games they were playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Ian was wearing the skeleton shirt under his jacket.
Yeah.
See,
I love them.
So yeah, that was a good extra.
Living the gimmick.
So if in terms of casting, what I think that if they can pull the character off, then I'm good in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be them exactly, but the heart and the core of their character has to be intact.
Yeah, it's.
And honestly, let me level with you. I don't think that will be hard. I mean, it's not like everything in the entire world that you consume isn't already a trope somewhere. And I mean,
I'm kind of already used to. I think the One Piece Kabuki play was kind of like a soft, introduction of live action One Piece.
And how was that?
I loved it. I loved that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a traditional acted out play or movie, but damn, kind of seeing how they adapted some of those characters. It looked great.
So think about what they could do with this then. They could really take some neat liberties.
I'm telling you right now, if the actor they got to play Bon Clay in the Kabuki if he could do that, there's hope. You know, like people could bring life to these animated characters.
Well, I think that
do
we
them
gotta
justice.
we really need to follow this closely because I think in order to be optimistic, or in my case, to remain optimistic, we have to learn who exactly is working on this. And you know what? I think I'm also like, if it doesn't do well, I also like kind of don't care in a way, because I kind of, well, you know me, I don't really watch the anime that much anymore because of, I don't like its pacing problems and stuff like that, so I don't really put the anime at a higher echelon anymore. And as long as the original series is there for people to read, and this is getting them there, I think it's a good opportunity.
It. I mean,
Yeah.
like, can it really do that much damage to the series? I mean, fans of the series are gonna. This isn't gonna turn fans.
If it gets
of the
big enough
manga
to
away
be
from
like
it.
an embarrassment, that'll actually be probably a big success. That anyone enough people saw it to think of it at all.
Yeah. Also, so the Ghost in the Shell movie came out, right?
Yes.
And people were talking about it like for forever, and then it came out, and nobody said shit about it the week after it came out.
Because
It's accurate,
but nobody saw it.
Yeah, I've seen the animated
like,
Ghost in the Shell more times this year than I've seen the live action one.
Yeah, like if it fails, then nobody's gonna, like, either people are going to remember it and seek it out, or people aren't. I don't see this as a detriment to One Piece at all. It's just another way for this series story to be told. That's the way I'm looking at it. You don't have to watch it.
Let's talk about the worst case scenarios here.
Dragon Ball Evolution. We've already talked about.
Worst case scenario, it's on the CW as like a teen romp.
That would be great. Those shows do well.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, and they just have a pretty decent budget on them too. Those
Supergirl crossover. Are you suggesting?
Well, maybe Melissa Benoist can be Nami.
Granted, who knows when the show is actually going to come out? It could be like, I give it no less than 2 years before anything happens.
Sure.
I mean, actually airs.
I don't know. I just know for a fact that this won't ruin One Piece for me, because One Piece still exists. The manga still exists.
Yeah.
I hope people aren't actually worried about that, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when Dragon Ball Evolution came out, I wasn't up in arms about
Dragon Ball Evolution also came out like Dragon Ball was not popular anymore in Japan, and it kind of fell out of favor. I don't want to say fell out of favor, but it had its time. It ran its course in the States. Because when did that come out? Like 2009?
It was before we started the podcast.
Okay, yeah. I think it was 2009. So
it was around there, yeah.
2008, I think.
This is still in the height of, well, as far as we know, One Piece is going to be going on for many more years. So it'll be coming out when One Piece is still a thing. It's not like the Masters of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren or anything like that. It's still in the height of its reign. And I'm just thinking, like, negative scenario. If it sucks, yeah, it sucks. It'll be the butt of many jokes. And couldn't be
just like how the 4Kids dub is still the butt of many jokes.
I was gonna say, and I'm like, could it be as bad as the 4Kids dub?
Yeah, like I don't know if you guys listened to the episode of Saturday Morning Cartoons I was on, but Dave and Sean were talking about the One Piece rap and how like amazing it is. Amazingly awful. Like it's one of those like super terrible things that like you can't help but also think is amazing.
So What you're saying is we should hope that there's a rap in this movie.
Oh yeah, we shouldn't just hope there's a rap. We should hope that it's a rap by Will Smith.
Hey, I mean, if he can be the genie, then he can be. What in One Piece could he be?
Who would you cast?
Aokiji.
Oh my God, he'd be an amazing Aokiji. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, he'd be amazing.
I don't know if he can tone it down that far.
No, he can. He probably can.
Yeah.
No, look, if he nailed it, then I'd be fine. Like, I generally don't really like Will Smith that much these days, but if he could nail it, I wouldn't be sad.
It all comes down. To me, it's gonna come down to the director. I I know there hasn't been too many good adaptations of. Well, I was gonna say comics, but at this point, I can't really say that anymore because Marvel's been hitting it out of the
There's
park.
there's never been a good live action anime. I tried thinking about this the other day. I can't think of an example in which, like, I'm talking about U.S. produced.
Okay, yeah, U.S.
I mean,
produced.
some people like the U.S. Speed Racer, the Wachowski Speed
Oh
Racer.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I actually
I
heard that's
actually do
really
like
awesome.
that. It does have its
That's
faults,
cool.
but I personally enjoy that movie.
I think
Um,
Sam is in that club. I think.
It's
Yes,
we're a weird
I'm
club. But it's there. I've discovered that over recent years. I'm like, oh wow, people do like this movie. Um, but
But that had the Wachowskis behind it. Like, we're talking about visionary directors.
yeah, like we need visionary directors on this.
Even when they're bad, it's weird, you know.
Not necessarily going to recommend the Wachowskis, but
I don't know. Bound's a pretty good movie.
I don't know. It's just to me, it's just like yeah, it's saying it's just writing on that. Like I think part of the reason why the Scott Pilgrim movie was so great was because it's Edgar Wright. Um, I mean, there's so many other good things about that adaptation, but that's a great example of a non-Marvel comic adaptation of when it. I'd say Scott Pilgrim is definitely
Yeah. Oh yeah, Scott
zany
Pilgrim
enough where it's like
is great.
this is like could some of this stuff work in live action, but it's still
Yeah,
very
yeah.
reality based. One Piece is far from that.
So, well, I mean, like, if you have the budget, you can make anything. That's basically how that's my,
And
understanding.
I
'Cause,
worry about you know how cheap Japanese adaptations of manga and anime can look
Yeah,
sometimes.
they don't have the
oh
best
yeah,
CG.
100%.
Yeah, I worry about that with like the lousy like sets and special effects. I worry about that a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out.
It's gonna give us plenty to talk about on the podcast for years.
Yeah, that means we're going to have a section,
Oh my
like a
god, we have
segment
a new
on the
segment.
podcast, a new segment on the
Have
podcast devoted to recapping the live action episode.
Talk
no
talking about all
fears,
the
we'll have
news.
segments for years.
And eventually, oh man, we're gonna
Looks like looks like we're boned, guys. We're never gonna stop doing this podcast even after the manga ends.
we're gonna
Oh
have
well.
live action recaps or we could do commentaries or something. It's
We could do
wild.
commentaries for regular episodes. We're not gonna do that.
No, we
We're not
used
gonna
to
do that. I'm hoping
go
to
listen
have
to
a
those
wife and
episodes
kids
on
by that
Patreon.
time.
But
I'm One Piece.
it's a crazy time. It's weird. I always say I don't want things to happen, and then when they do kind of happen, I'm like, okay, I guess I wasn't that completely opposed to them, but I'm gonna remain a little skeptical. But
Also, uh, so whenever I think about the Four Kids version of One Piece,
mhm.
I think of uh, a couple things. One, introduced a lot of people to the series, regardless of how shitty it was. But two, uh, the it's a great example of how not to dub an anime. Like it's a wonderful example of like the changes that you shouldn't make when bringing something over. And there's so many different like crazy things that happen in the Four Kids version of One
Yeah, I
Piece.
watched an episode again recently,
It's
and
like
I mean,
it's
we
so
always used to hate
bad.
on it, but I've only now realized how bad it really is. I
It's
mean,
like watching a Joss Whedon movie. Like there's everybody is so quippy. Everybody's got jokes. Everybody.
and the
Everyone has
writing is
jokes.
also really dumb, like just really dumb.
Oh really? Yeah. No, that
Which
was my
I don't.
tone sarcastic.
I don't think this live action movie will do that, but I'm worried. It really comes down to the visionary for this, because I think at least in Japan, I don't know. This is that's just me just
What?
guessing
No,
this. Just saying
finish
that
your thought.
One Piece might lose its whimsicalness. I don't think that's a word.
But in the comic, like this is going to affect what Oda does.
No. I mean, like the live action adaptation. I don't know if
Oh, well, it will keep its
the
whimsy.
whoever directs it like will understand. Like, oh, sorry, I'm trying to think of the right word to say it. I don't want to see a gritty One Piece.
No, me either.
You don't want any dark and gritty, you don't want dark and gritty pirates. You don't want Pirates of the
Like,
Caribbean looking
Give
pirates.
me Speed
Yeah, here's
Racer,
what I
man.
want.
I
Oh, yeah.
it's
Speed Racer,
You got to go
yes.
the Speed Racer route. Maybe not so much
Bright
CG,
colors.
but that's
Bright
One
colors.
Piece.
Yeah.
That's why
I
we
think
like
if
One
it-
Piece.
I think if it
Anyone that
were, like-
likes like One Piece and wants to make like AMVs to like gritty pop punk music, like step back. You're you're interpreting it wrong. I don't know.
Eh.
I don't want to
Wow.
see. I don't want to see like a One Piece live action, and then like the ending credits are a song by Papa Roach or something. That's my fear.
What, like you're fearing like the Lord Slug trailer? Is that what you're fearing?
Deftones and Disturbed. Yeah. Sorry, younger fans who probably have no idea who these bands are.
This is the peak of 2003, I think. Anyway, is there anything else you guys want to talk about with regard to this, or with the manga recently? You haven't been on the show much. So,
Oh yeah,
do you guys have opinions?
it's been great. We haven't even hit the climax of this arc yet. Clearly.
What? Everyone's covered in sticky goo. Of course you have.
I have my dripping with goo.
Are you kidding? Big Mom just like she's pissed. Like you saw the end of that chapter. She wants cake. Give me cake or go to hell. Like she's bone storming it up. She's gonna fucking like. We've reached. I think we're about to reach the climax. Like the cake was just a false climax.
The cake was a lie. Are you saying?
Oh my god, the cake was a lie. That's what we're calling this mini-sode.
It's.
I mean, I wish we.
This arc is just like an equivalent to just Whole Cake Island itself. It's just a big buffet of sweets, and there's so much, and I'm eating too much, and I shouldn't, and I should really cut back, but it's still all really good. That's how I feel about this arc right now. It just moves like a breakneck speed. We got so many freaking characters, but they're all like they're all like creative. They're all zany. So like I still kind of remember them. It's like I know who Oven is.
He's the guy with the oven.
It's the guy with.
Is his name Oven?
His name is Oven. I think. I of course I named the one character with the easiest name to remember.
Daifuku is Genie Weenie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Played by Will Smith.
Daifuku.
It really has. This has been the best arc since the time skip. It really has. It's fun. And God,
Zoe was pretty fun.
Yeah,
this is better.
Zoe was great.
So.
Yeah, and Beige is my favorite supernova, hands down. Oh God, the Looney Tunes shenanigans. Oh,
my favorite color.
What?
You get it?
what?
Beige.
Oh,
Beige.
Beige.
I'm
I
sorry, I
was
was
just saying
distracted by
Capone,
the
but-
episode image from last week's episode. I just pulled it up on the website.
But it's been a lot of fun. And I think this arc also encapsulates like Oda's and One Piece's potential, which is all these out of this world, character designs and quirks and world building. And I just hope whoever works on this live action adaptation is aware of this. It's. I mean,
I'm sure
and this
they
is
will
bound
be,
to happen, but I don't want it to just be like a Michael Bay thing where it's just like, kid, pirate, got it. All right, let me make my
Also,
movie.
have you been reading Greg's tweets?
It's kind of hard to multitask right now.
Oh. Well, he seems to be fine. So.
Yeah. Oh.
He's screaming internally, I'm sure.
Well, way to put Greg on the spot, guys. I'm also just checking our feed of people tweeting to us, and yeah, it's a lot of people, fearing, and hell, I'd be with there too. Our friend Joey Weiser is in that camp. Well, he said no comment.
Yeah.
These Joseph Joestar quotes.
Basically, Steve was kind of right. It was probably going to happen eventually. Like if you really want your favorite series to be seen by everyone, this is really the way to do it.
But it goes against something I hate. Is I don't like live action being the end all be all. It's like it's what Disney's doing right now. Is they're just doing live actions of all their animated films. So
Well,
it's almost like saying like the animated films.
That's a cash in though. Like all of those are fucking cash in.
Yeah, they are. But I don't like. I'm just thinking, just the masses, just the people going to see these movies. I don't want them to think that, oh, well, the live action one, I mean, they're the animated one, oh, yeah, that's for kids and stuff, but the live action, that's for everybody.
Okay,
Animation's for everybody.
I give you this, Harry Potter. A lot of people saw those movies and then went to go read the books, and the books are like.
But that's a book though.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is the same way.
Yeah, no, but One Piece is
a book. One Piece is a book.
One Piece is a series. One Piece is cartoons, a comic, animated. That's what I.
Comics are a book. Like, look at fucking.
I'm taking a look. It's in a book.
Reading Rainbow. Don't take my word for it.
I'm just saying. I always fear that just animation, like, still like isn't taken seriously as an art form. Which
of course it's not.
It is. But like to casual moviegoers or casual TV watchers, like that's just my fear. I'm not saying that is true, but I'm saying that is my fear, and I'm sure there's things to back up that fear. But
when I think of One Piece, I don't think of the anime. I think of the manga, and it's basically just an adaptation of a comic. Like if you're thinking of it that way, like say they're going to make a Luke Cage series, for example, and pull it off. Like I feel like One Piece could work as a live action series. You just have to be careful.
Not tell all the story at once. Like,
yes, if you're gonna do like this mini series, which is smart, it's something they should have done with Watchmen all those years ago.
They're doing a Watchmen mini series now.
What was I saying? I'd say just do East Blue. Yeah, you're not capitalizing on all of One Piece, and you don't have like Ace and Sabo and all that, but East Blue is
Sabo wouldn't be until episode like season 20.
I don't know. I'm speaking as someone who and not too many people have had this benefit of reading the series from the beginning, from chapter 1, without knowing anything about it going in. And there were simpler times, especially I've actually been rewatching East Blue episodes with a friend who's finally gotten into the series, and just there's so it's simple. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a simple story, but there's not too much going on. It's just the rising action of Luffy setting out to sea and gathering a crew, meeting all these people. I think that's the best way to go about it. Is do East Blue.
Yeah,
do it, dude.
So they do East Blue, but what if it becomes humongous? What if it's actually good and people love it like Game of Thrones?
Then it's gonna be Game of Thrones.
Fucking awesome. It's gonna be great.
Well, first of all, if it's gonna be awesome, I have nothing to worry about.
As long as it's good.
We're fans of the original story. We're always gonna have qualms with choices they make. It's like, they cut this out, or they rewrote this. But hell, if it's good enough where it warrants more seasons, it must be doing something right.
Yeah, so the Game of Thrones and Song of Ice and Fire. Like I have friends who watch the show and read the books, and they like both equally because they know that they're completely different. Like the show's its own monster, and that's kind of how I've been. That's been my mentality with like comic book movies in general. Like I used to get nerd ragey about how they didn't include this and that, but then I'm like, it's completely different from the comics. Like it's its own universe. I mean, the Marvel universe is actually kind of starting to bleed their movie stuff into the comics now. So that's whatever. But it's not like I've read a Marvel comic in forever. The point being, you know, you see my point.
I don't even know if I made any points tonight. I feel like I've just incoherently rambled for 40 minutes, but I mean, this was, big breaking news.
Big news.
Big news, everyone. Extra, extra. Read all about it.
Big news right here.
But what else do you want me to say? It's gotta ride this one out, but I know.
All right.
Should we have like a closing statement?
Go ahead, guys.
Alex.
This is more like an episode of 20 minutes of bullshit, and I'm just here.
Well, Ed, why don't you say more on the subject?
No, I was fine with it.
Oh yeah, me too.
I want it to be good.
Yeah,
that's all I want. I'm not gonna. I mean, if it's bad, I'm probably not gonna watch it after like one episode. Like I'm not. Life's too short to watch not good shit.
Say that to the internet. That's how a lot of people make their living.
Man, people need to get a life. Life is too short to like watch stuff you don't enjoy. Like, never mind. No, I'll leave it at that.
No, that's how some people make a living these days. I think I worry because for the longest time it was hard being a One Piece fan when the height of the 4Kids era, when people were like, oh, you mean that stupid show, the guy with the lollipop? I'm like, no, not that version.
Actually, he's cool.
Yeah, he's very cool. Did you not see my email? Man, I don't know. Like, they've tested the waters with a bunch of live action One Piece. Like there was the Kabuki play. There's the stuff at Universal Studios, stage shows and all that.
So the Universal Studios stuff is very like, let's make this, recognizable.
Cosplay masquerade.
Yeah. I don't want the show to be that.
What do you mean exactly?
I mean, like they don't have to do exactly that. Like Kabuki thing you brought up is actually a really good. That's like a cool. I really like that actually. Like that's a good example to use. Like taking really creative liberties to create something that has the same heart that One Piece has, but just looks and sounds completely different.
Is Usopp gonna have a long nose?
You damn well better.
I just thought of that now. All we could do now is just, let the news come in, hope for the best, and try not to go into things negative. Like I said, I've been a wrestling fan for almost 20 years, and most of my time as a wrestling fan has been every other fan going to something wanting to hate it or wanting it to be bad so they could feel justified in their complaints. And I don't want to do that with this.
All right. I guess.
Is that it?
You want me to do mine?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I think this is good news.
Good news.
Good news. And for the reasons that I say, like, it's great for One Piece's exposure. It'll get people to read the source material. If it's good, then that's awesome. Like, think about what, like, even if you can't imagine it, like, it would be so cool to have a good live action adaptation of our favorite thing. If it's bad, then you don't have to watch it. And if it's that bad, it'll probably get canned. And, we'll just forget about it, kind of like the 4Kids dub. Like it's not like it's the end of the world if it's a bad thing. You're still going to have the anime and you're still going to have the manga. You're still going to have the original story that Oda is still working on. And I don't think that if this becomes a thing, it'll move past where Oda is in the story, just because there's so much there. So I'd say
they might have to do their own filler. They might have to do their own off-piece arc.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I'd be fine with that. So my advice to everybody is to, just be hopeful that it's good. And if it's bad, then so what? it's just it's whatever.
You
So
don't gain anything out of being negative right out of the gate.
you really don't. Trust me, I used to do that all the time. You'll learn.
Or you just just learn that there's more to life.
There really is. There really is. Anyway, Ed, do you have a
All right,
final?
No, I think I've said my piece on it.
Okay.
Well, Ed, how could the good people contact us?
A podcast can be found. Oh, actually, Steve, where can people find you?
Oh, find me on Twitter at Steve Yurko, Tumblr and Instagram, same username. Been a very busy boy. I think if you haven't realized, I haven't been on the podcast much this year, but I've just been working hard. But you could find me on Twitter. That's where I'm the most active. Forgive me for all the wrestling tweets, but it's just my thing. That's what I do, and I will be at Oda-con with these guys. I'll be at Artist Alley, so find me there.
Hey.
You can find me, Alex, at dude exclamation all one word on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, all sorts of social media outlets. I will also be at Oda-con with our very own One Piece podcast, these two jokers, plus many more of your favorite friends. And I'll also be doing Super Art Fight there as well. So if you're at Oda-con, please come see all of those things. And if you're in the DC area, come out and see a show. I'm always performing with the Washington Improv Theater. Ed? Oh, crap. Listen to Tohoyaro. It's the Japanese film podcast I do with Joey and Scott, and it's really awesome. And we'll be releasing Tokyo Drifter very soon.
Right on. You can find me on Twitter at Edward E. Stizio. The podcast is at OnePiecePodcast.com, Twitter.com, YouTube.com, and Facebook.com/OnePiecePodcast. Reddit.com/r/OnePiecePodcast for some piece together. One Piece Podcast is our Skype name. OnePiecePodcast@gmail.com is our email address. Please support us. Patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. You can subscribe on Google Play, SoundCloud, and on Apple Podcasts.
There you go.
No longer iTunes. I'm getting better at that. You can also call us on our phone number, 347-497-MAJI. 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Sorry, forgot. I was actually I had the number ready. I was gonna say it. But...
Oh, okay. Sorry, I deprived you of that opportunity.
It's okay.
But so for the One Piece Podcast, my name is Ed.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
Big news, everybody.
Big news.
We'll see you at the movies or on the Netflix
And I'll see you in my apartment.
Yes.
Yeah.